series of Super Talk Show. Now, what are you up to during the summer? Well, I know that I'll be doing the LaunchX Summer Entrepreneurship Program for High School Students 2022. Now, thinking about this, no matter if you are a Super Talk Show audience who's been tuning in for a really long time, or you're someone who is a prospective applicant to LaunchX 2023 and beyond, this series of interviews is a perfect fit for you. You know why? Because we will be going around the world and interviewing and learning about the astonishing experience of so many amazing guests who got into LaunchX, a really selective summer program with an acceptance rate of below 20%. So definitely learning about the high school experience of these individuals will enrich your experience for your high school journey. And definitely tune in. So let's hear about Joanna's story right now. Hello, Joanna. Welcome to Super Talk Show, and thank you so much for being the first guest in the LaunchX episode of Super Talk Show.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Just gonna show off the same t-shirt.
LaunchX merch.
LaunchX merch.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically both of us are LaunchX student, and ironically, we're actually in the same team. So we're both in Team
27.
The team that won the social media challenge this year, along with another. Yeah. So to start, Joanna, do you want to give an introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so hello, my name is Joanna Liu. I am a rising junior at Lexington High School in Lexington, Massachusetts. I primarily work in the education sector, but I also do a lot of writing. Creative writing and journalism are two of my passions, so I look forward to pursuing that not only through our company with Heidi at LaunchX, but also in the future when I go to college and do other things.
That's a great introduction. I know you're really education centered. You've been doing work both inside and outside of school related to that field. So I want to start asking about you being a teacher outside of school, or I don't know if it's outside or inside of school, but how did that experience came about?
Yeah, so initially I became a teacher because I took the SSAT. So the SSAT is similar to the SAT. Except it's the test that students take when they go to high school and when they're applying for private high schools. So what happened was I did very well on that test because I had done a lot of vocab studying and stuff. And because of that, I was asked by a company to help them tutor in SAT. And then as I did that for a while, I also started helping out with high school application because SSAT and the high school application process are very intrinsically linked. And then I've also occasionally been able to give some writing advice to students who are applying to specific colleges. So that's basically what I've done.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I guess the more interesting bit about that is that, you get paid for that. So how would you suggest students who are also looking for, opportunities like that to engage with, for example, companies or just opportunity like that in general?
Yeah, so I say one important thing is just having the skill set and stuff, but another important thing is doing networking. So whether you do that through making interpersonal connections with other people or forming bonds through social media and other websites, it's really important that because there are so many people that do well on these SSAT and SAT tests, it's really important that you connect with the right people or you actively reach out to people because otherwise you aren't going to find those opportunities. For example, I don't think I would be teaching SSAT, for example, if I hadn't known someone who was my neighbor, I hadn't talked with them, and then hadn't realized they needed an SSAT tutor. So it's really important to basically reach out to other people. You may be good at something, but you also want to connect with others, right? So that's an important lesson I've learned.
Definitely. So I want to dive into your experience being in that field. So especially with college application, since you're so experienced, what's one thing that you see in common between students seeking your help?
Yeah, I actually wouldn't say I'm like that experienced, but like in my personal experience, I would say one thing that a lot of students who are applying to college are looking for is basically, so like I like look at a lot of their essays, not because like I like know exactly what they're going through, but because like I understand what makes an essay compelling. I've done a lot of writing, right? And so what a lot of college students fail to like, or at least those who are applying to college, right, is how to write that essay and how to present yourself as your best self. I think it's really easy for us when we're doing those things kind of fall into cliches of writing, like I have a tragic Asian background or like something like that. But honestly, like something I've found is you can write about the smallest things. Like you can, I've had students, or like I haven't had students, but I've talked to people who have like written about things as simple as like coral on the beach, right? And they're like getting into top universities, not because they chose like a super like vivid and interesting thing, but because they wrote it in a way that demonstrated their personality and their character to the college. So that's one thing.
That's interesting. And now that I really think about it, you're a rising junior in high school, and the people you're not interviewing, sorry, interviewing is all on my mind. But when you're like talking or teaching them in a sense, or peer reviewing their essays, there are people that are generally older than you. So how do you navigate that? I don't know, like situation or relation. Um, yeah.
Yeah, how do I generally I navigate it by I work a lot behind the scenes, so like I'm not always like in front like working directly with the student. There will be intermediates, but basically I also try to present myself as a more mature person. And then finally, I try to reassure them by giving them some of my credentials. Like, for example, I am an editor in the school newspaper. I've won like medals at Scholastic. I know my way around creative writing, stuff like that, so that they really like can trust me with their work. And I also try and demonstrate my skills to them so that they know they can trust me.
Well, hold up right there. When you're answering that question, I actually learned something about you that I don't even know. You're a winner in scholastics. I mean, as an international student, I don't really know what those are, but I did
Yeah,
not.
so the Scholastic Art and Writing Competition is basically, it's an American competition. However, international students can apply. It's basically you submit your like writing or whatever, and you can win either keys, which are regional, and medals, which are like national. I have 3 regional keys, and then this year I'm looking to improve my writing so I can earn those medals. And that's like, well, not like that, but it's like Scholastic is a really big competition here. So I use that to demonstrate my credentials, but also it's a way for me to assess how great or how good my writing is compared to my peers.
Oh, wow. I mean, how many keys? How can you win 3 keys already? How
It,
many? Let me reframe that. How many scholastic regionals are there in a year?
there's okay, it's an annual competition, but there's like multiple regions, right?
Okay.
Oh, I want to clarify. It's like multiple people can win keys, right? It's not just like one person.
Right. But
Mhm.
it's only your second year in high school. So, and you won 3. How, like, when can
You
you?
can, there are multiple categories. Sorry, I feel like I'm cutting you off, but so I did a lot of writing in satire because that's my specialty. I did a lot of commentary during like COVID, which was my last submission. This year I've been more busy with like business and entrepreneurship, so I haven't really like worked on my competitions and my writing as much. But the year before that, when COVID was starting, I submitted a piece about how Asians have been like marginalized throughout the pandemic in this very like subtle, almost comedic way, yet it still impacts our population. And so like, for example, I put that in satire, but there's also so many categories. They have like poetry, they have journalism, they have like fiction, flash fiction, there's so much.
I see. Oh, that's really cool. I mean, now looking forward, because right now you're starting your, I don't want to say final year of high school, but like almost final year, because in the start of your senior year, you start your applications. So what are you looking forward to in your junior year of high school?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to putting my best foot forth in my business and also in my writing. Those are the two things that I feel like I haven't done enough for in these past 2 years, partially because of COVID, partially because we're readjusting to school. But, and I also, oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I'll restart. Um, and so I really want to like work on those things in my junior year and see how high can I bring myself, because like I've never thought of myself as like a super like capable person. I live in a district with like a lot of people who are super smart and like super talented, and so but this year I really want to like push myself to the best of my limits and see how well I can do. And then next year, like after that, obviously it's just like applying for colleges, but also it'll finally give me a chance to relax and enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the high school experience itself, it's really like a lot of work in general. So definitely, even myself, I would be looking forward to the summer after senior year. But going back to LaunchX, because we're both LaunchX students.
Yeah, launches.
Oh yeah, Launchies, I forgot that. And Launchos. Well, Launchos is the currency we use.
Currency, yeah.
But for our company, like our company in general, why do you think it would be really helpful and useful to high school students? I guess we're pitching our company here a little bit.
Yeah, let's pitch our company. Currently it's called Contest Today. It's a bit more of a tentative name, but let's just stick with that for now. So I really see our company as like it can be an extremely powerful tool for students all over the world to finally find these like important opportunities, because like as someone who like not just as someone who like works in high school admissions, but also as someone who lives in a district that's rather competitive, you'll notice that the students who are doing well, it's not because they're necessarily smarter or better than anyone, but it's because they have access to like these tutors or resources that just help them out a lot more. And through Contest Today, me and Heidi aim to create a service so that students, even without those advisors, which are very expensive, can still gain the same opportunities and benefits, and which help them harness their skills and grow in high school.
That's a really good answer. And in this interview, we talked about scholastics, and you guys, viewers of Super Talk Show, you have just witnessed how I didn't even know about scholastics, and suddenly Joanna talked about it, and now I know about it. Maybe I'll try to compete in it next year or so. So really, our company is trying to broaden both international and domestic students' view about like what opportunity is open to them and that they can access from, maybe from the comfort of their home or traveling to other states or districts to access these opportunities and summer programs. Yeah, so that's done. The company bit is done. Overall, to end this interview, do you have any tips or just things you want to say that you think you have taken away in your high school, like big last quotes for you?
Yeah, so one of my things in high school was that because like I was working with so many of these super awesome, talented people, and now I am here at LaunchX working with people like Heidi and like other people on our team who are all exceptional in what they do, I think it's very easy for us to feel like we're not good enough or we can't do the things we want to do, especially when we pit ourselves against our friends and our peers. However, it's important for you to be audacious when you're pursuing these challenges, to be brave despite the fact that you might fail or you might not be good enough. It's important for you to take these risks because ultimately it's this risk taking that helps you grow and strive. And so that's really what I'd like to tell like the youth of today, even though I am a youth, so it's a bit ironic.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joanna, for this interview. It was really great listening and hearing about your work experience and your passion in education, and also your current experience in LaunchX. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. It was wonderful talking with you, and I also learned so much about you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joanna, and thank you for those who's listening.
All right, I guess we'll peace out now. Bye.
Bye.